Serious NSFW. What's something that a freeing classmate did in high school that was seen as funny at the time, but you now realize was actually not ok? Diabetic classmate using his stabby blood glucose monitor on everyone's leg with the same blade for everyone. As an adult, I realize why the teacher sure hit the fucking roof. The amount of people asking why it's bad the same needle is being used entering the bloodstream of dozens of students, one of which may all have had a dangerous and transmittable disease or virus. All medals, hearts or one use only, don't share. Guys in my year went through a phase of brutally wedging each other with the aim to fully rip the underwear off. Once guys' ripped boxers got pinned on the notice board complete with skid marks and bloodstains. Seemed hilarious at the time, but I die inside a little at the memory.
Hey guys, much like you, I love reading people's stories on Ask Reddit. Unfortunately, there's a lot of weird middle school level, just thought experiment type hypotheticals like nice try Baskin Robbins. I don't find this compelling, so that's why I've made it my mission to trawl and crawl through Ask Reddit and find the very best content and put it in your ears. That's why I'm begging you, like and subscribe. If there's anything I can do to help you out, give you the kind of content that you crave to help you get through your workday, let me know in a comment. But please like and subscribe.
When I was a junior in high school, I broke my thumb and was given a flesh-colored plastic cast that fit over the thumb. Unfortunately, it really looked phallic. It was a joke with my friends for a while, dick hands, because it could be easily removed. One of my friends asked to see it and then shoved the cast down his pants and through his front zipper, and I swear to God, he flashed one of the lunch ladies with it. She literally screamed and ran back into the lunch room, and within about 10 seconds 4 male teachers come tearing out of the lunch room and violently grab my friend and drag him to the principal's office while screaming, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" To be honest, we all laughed in the "holy shit, did that just happen" kind of way. About 15 minutes later, I got called into the principal's office, essentially to corroborate this kid's story that it wasn't his real penis, but this stupid plastic cast I had on my thumb. My friend got expelled and they were going to suspend me until I told the principal something like, "Did I think that this kid was going to shove my cast down his pants and flash a lunch lady? No. I thought he just wanted to see the damn thing." I got the "be careful who you are friends with" speech and let go. I'm pretty sure the lunch lady quit. Just a quick, a lot of people are saying that the kid shalln't be expelled. I'll just say the 17-year-old boys should not be whipping their dicks out at old ladies, regardless of whether the dicks are fake or not. In the 5th grade, we had a random urinal and sink shitter. This kid would shit in the sinks and urinals in a couple of the boys' bathrooms for a few weeks. It got so bad that the staff teachers had to take kids in groups at pre-designated times to go use the bathrooms while they waited outside. The kid was in my class and got caught because he was in my class and decided to shit in a urinal while in this group setting. He laughed hysterically the whole time and thought we would all think it was funny. I mean, we did think it was funny, but it was annoying we had to go in groups. He got suspended for a bit because of that, and then those incidents never happened again. I had a teacher, our class tutor, who was lovely, but she was tired of several of our classmates acting like little shits. One day, during our home tutor class with her, several of them just kept messing about, picking on her and full-on blanking her when she spoke to them, acting as if she wasn't there. They found it hilarious. Me and my friends were quite close with her, so we stayed after that class and asked if she was okay. She looked at us and just started crying, saying how she's so tired of it, and how they make her not enjoy teaching anymore, and she'd been teaching over 20 years. The next day we actually told the class about it, and their faces dropped. I think for once they realized how far they had pushed her. I felt so bad for her. We had a ghost pit in our school, which was a pit in the ground with steps leading down that had no clear function. So the culture in the school would be to grasp Simone's backsack and throw it down the pit. Once the kid went to get the bag, someone would shout "Goes pit." Everyone would run over and spit on the kid continuously until he managed to get up the stairs. I remember even teachers laughing at this. October 2nd, 2024 were a strange time. Almost all the harmless fun I can remember from my school is actually horrific. There was one kid in a group 3 years ahead of me in a religious school. He was super volatile and it made him easy to pick on. I used to laugh at the jokes and his reaction too, although I did a couple times tell him they only do that because of his reaction. He would flip the fuck out, scream and cry. Turned out he was being raped and sodomized by the youth group leader regularly. No wonder the kid had issues. I feel so bad for him now. A kid announced to all the other students that a particular teacher had titty cancer, saying it in a funny and mocking tone, and everyone laughed and laughed because the kid said titty and they were regarded as the funny kid at school. We only realized it was bad when the teacher heard it and broke down crying. We didn't realize we were making fun of her dying. I still carry second-hand guilt about that one. Edit to clarify, since some of you can't handle my use of second-hand guilt. I didn't join in with the other students because I thought it was wrong to make fun of someone, but I was also stupid and didn't connect their making fun of her to her potential demise, so I didn't stand up to the other students. I have second-hand guilt because I wish I had been more emotionally mature to understand what was happening and emotionally fortified to stand up for that teacher. My maths class once made a teacher cry and quit. She couldn't speak English that well as she was from Poland. It got to the point where classmates hid her bag and hid items from the bag. One day she had a nervous breakdown and we never saw her again. It's only now you realize that something like that just isn't on at all. Pretty disgusting behavior. A girl I rode horses with when I was in high school and she was in middle school told me that she and her mom watched porn together so they could make fun of the actors. She said this as if it was perfectly normal. She was not kidding. I thought it was weird and funny at the time, but now as an adult I am horrified. Unfortunately, the girl ended up getting pregnant as a sophomore in high school and her mother was so proud of her and happy that she was going to be a hot, young grandmother. I'm not sure what happened to the girl after high school, so hopefully things worked out for her.
I turned 36 this year and I decided to focus on my physical fitness, so I bought a swim club membership. The only problem was, most of the time when I go swimming, I wind up getting an ear infection. So it turns out that normal earplugs, they kind of irritate your ear canal, they don't really work, they don't keep the water out, but there is an amazing kind of earplug called Mack soft silicone earplugs that, they feel great, they keep the water out 100%, they're reusable, and they don't irritate your ear canal at all, no issues. If you've ever had a severe ear infection, you don't want to experience that again. It can permanently damage your hearing if you're unlucky. So investing in these earplugs is definitely a good idea. Also, when my baby was crying later this year and I could not get to sleep, I used the same earplugs and they worked great. I was able to sleep right next to a crying baby. So be sure to click my affiliate link and purchase some of these Mack's earplugs today.
I had a Spanish teacher, Miss G. This was in Arizona. I found her full name in a yearbook because I had her sign mine in 2008. I'm not sure I should put her name out there, but I'm guessing she's retired now. She doesn't have a Facebook either. Students would lock her out of her classroom, unplug her computer, and they spread an awful rumor that she was having sex with another woman teacher in front of a classroom. She got locked out because a student came back from the restroom and said her car was hit in the parking lot. She ran out and then a kid locked her out. A few kids unlocked the door for her, but that was really sad. This teacher was so kind-hearted, soft, and an excellent Spanish teacher. It was really sad what students put the teachers through. I don't believe it was racially motivated. She's white, just a little older and frazzled looking at the time. I had this teacher whose breath was horrible. Like someone literally took a crap in her mouth. Horrible. Anyway, this one kid left a big bottle of mouthwash on her desk when she wasn't looking one day. The whole class was laughing. Then she turned around and saw it, and you could see her kind of die inside. She went on to tearfully explain to the class how she had some kind of an intestinal issue that she has been suffering with, and that she realizes her breath is bad. Then she excused herself from the class for the remainder of the period. Now, as a kid, I thought that was hilarious until she started to cry. And how she was able to continue teaching us monsters after that is not something I will ever understand. And if that had been my wife or mother, I would have encouraged her to quit. I had a well-loved teacher in high school who had some sort of intense aversion to glitter. So off a bunch of the shithead seniors decided to prank him by dumping bags of glitter all around his classroom. The poor man actually dropped to the ground and started sobbing. A lot of the kids thought he was doing it to be dramatic or funny, but it was very clear, especially in retrospect, that he was having a full-blown panic attack. I hope those shithead kids learn something from that. Putting dead animals in the teacher's drawer. She was just like a regular person, not a super strict or unpleasant teacher. Quite pleasant, even. It was just a stupid prank, but still. IRC, she changed careers eventually, not sure if related to how shitty some kids are. Since this is blowing up, and some people expressed concern for the animal, it was found dead. The classmate was a little shit, but not a psychopath. My first high school was in a fairly green area, so finding dead critters on occasion was not unusual. We had a very attractive male student teacher when we were in high school, and the degree to which some of the girls were flirting with him got out of control. This guy was hot, tall, model looks and such, and what started with a bunch of girls openly gawking at him and agreeing he was sexy escalated. I remember feeling genuinely bad for this guy. He just wanted to teach. He seemed to really want to do a good job, but he ended up getting sexually harassed like crazy. In the end, I think he got transferred within the district to a middle school or something, and I remember the principal ranting and screaming about how inappropriate some of the girls had been. We had a teacher in middle school that served in a war. I can't remember which war, but he saw some combat and it had affected him. Some of our more asshole classmates thought it was hilarious to bring snaps to school. Like the ones you get on the 4th of July that look like a fat sperm and you throw down on the ground to make a snapping sound. Every time that poor man turned around, they would start throwing those snaps because sometimes, not always, but sometimes he would go nearly full-blown flashback and hide, nearly crying under his desk from enemy fire. Some of our classmates, including the ones who did it, thought it was hilarious and no one would stand up to them cause those kids were the real, white trash, country bumpkin sort of terrors that would seriously hurt you if you crossed them. The principal didn't really do anything about it other than urging the teacher to retire. Was painful to watch. Because keep asking, this was in North Dakota back in the October 2nd, 2024. And I would guess he served in Vietnam, but he just referred to it as the war on the few occasions he actually spoke about anything. Not high school but primary. We had an asthmatic teacher, and those green board with chalk sticks. Once we found out she wouldn't have class if we defill the class with the power by beating the erasers in each other. She had to move. She would have crisis every day. We were sad. Everybody actually liked her. Sorry to all the teachers out there, if it makes any easier. On the goodbye party, she made each one a bracelet with those little plastic things. I wore it until it broke for good, like 3 years. We really liked her, but yeah, hope you get it. There was a girl in my grade that would suck anyone's dick from our grade. Just ask her at lunch, and she'll blow you in your car after school. Not even a big deal for anyone. She wasn't very popular with the other girls. Obviously this girl had some fucked up shit going on and no one stopped to think about it. A classmate got a new cool bike. For some reason this other classmate wasn't okay with this, so he threw her new bike in the woods and smeared dog shit all over it. He was pretty much found out for doing this the very next day. Kids just are the worst people on earth, Jesus. There was a diabetic kid at my school that jabbed a kid in the leg with his glucose monitor. It was funny right through the ass beating, and he stopped thinking it was funny when the non-diabetic kid's parents pressed charges that stuck. The diabetic kid's parents tried to counter with assault charges that got slapped down really quick. They didn't think it was a serious deal either until he was removed from the school.
Did you know that when you drink tea from a tea bag, especially a cheap tea bag, you are exposing yourself to microplastics greater in quantity than from any other source? Microplastics are the number one health risk of our generation, and they will have unknown consequences on future generations. So, if you value your health, destroy your tea bags. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy great tea. I'm going to post affiliate links for my own homebrew loose leaf tea concoction that I drink every single day. It has no microplastics, and it honestly tastes better than tea from a tea bag ever did. So be sure to click the links below and get on the loose leaf tea train to avoid poisoning yourself and your children.
So when I was in 7th grade, a classmate of mine used to tell everyone that he had sex with his younger cousin. Nobody used to believe him and thought that it was funny, but he used to say that he really did it. Now, after we graduated high school, I met him and tried to tease him about that thing in front of some other classmates. I thought everyone would laugh, but they all turned serious, and apparently he was telling the truth. Hump day. Every Wednesday, girls would cover their asses with their backpacks and hope the boys left us alone. If you forgot or bent down, you got humped. And sometimes, for whatever reason, that wouldn't be enough and your bag would get shoved aside for a bump. I hated Wednesdays for a long time, still least favorite day. Every Friday there was school-wide Slap Us Friday, where everyone just decided that they have free reign to run around and slap Ibrians, but all day. Doesn't matter who you were probably getting your booty popped on Fridays. I was an awkward loner and people would run up and slap my butt all the time. Doubt that would fly these days. I went to a Catholic school where a bunch of priests lived in a rectory on the campus. There was one kid in my class who was always getting in trouble and forced by this one particular priest to go do chores in the rectory. We would joke and make fun of how the kid was probably getting sexually abused by the priest. The kid was fairly popular and would get mildly annoyed with these jokes but also kind of laugh along with them. Well, it turned out the kid really was getting sexually abused by the priest. I think the priest ended up dying in jail. My 10th grade British history teacher would literally keep his classroom blinds down and shut at all times because he was worried of snipers. He was also very dramatic in the way he discussed the battles of British history, so we always thought it was a running joke. Even older siblings confirmed that he had kept it going for years. Well, a group of kids once decided to continually mess with him by opening the blinds all the way up, and the sheer look of horror on his face when that would happen made it seem like his fear was real. Great teacher. Weird dude.
This year, like I said, I'm having a midlife crisis. I've started a YouTube channel and I'm on a big health kick. One thing that I found is very easy to eat, very easy to prepare, is I heat up chickpeas with chicken broth and tikka masala. And there are two schools of thought about how you should eat beans. Some people believe you should buy the dry beans and soak them, but I tried that and it was a disaster. So I buy canned beans every time. And if I'm opening like 2 cans a day to be on this diet, it is a massive pain in the ass if the can has this jagged metal edge. I'm worried if like little bits of metal are getting into my food and going to slice up my intestines. So I found this special can opener that actually opens the can in a way that is completely safe, no metal's getting in your food, and is 1,000 times better than any other can opener I've ever used. So if you wind up, opening a lot of cans for whatever reason, maybe you've got a cat or something, you must buy this can opener from my affiliate link.